Right. And welcome to the Underdog's Edge, episode number 4. I'm so happy that you're tuning in. If it's the first time that you're tuning in to the Underdog's Edge, this is the podcast for business owners, entrepreneurs, movers, shakers, community leaders, salespeople. It doesn't matter if you're out in the world and you're trying to make things happen. This is the podcast for you. This is the podcast. We do not talk theory or philosophy. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty and make things happen. This is an action-based podcast, and I'm so excited that you're tuning in today. And today is episode number 4 of season 2. So it's exciting to have you on board today. And today we're going to go over the power of communication. And man, is communication so powerful. It is the lifeblood, not only of relationships, but of businesses, of ventures and life in general. Communication is everything. I mean, if you don't communicate, progress is not being made. Relationships are not thriving. Businesses are not thriving. It's just not a good situation. So I really want to dive into the power of communication, and then also 4 ways to keep communication successful. And I'm preaching from experience and from current experience that I understand that communication is so vital. And I have not always been great, and still have moments of days where my communication's not very successful. So let's jump right into it. The power of communication. And first off, I want to kind of go over exactly, what is communication. And for me, I like to go over the dictionary. I like to look up words and actually identify what communication is. Okay. And communication is, by definition, is imparting or exchanging of information or news, means of sending and receiving information, such as phone lines, computers, people talking, etc. So it's a means of giving and receiving information. That's communication. One of the big points we're going to touch on is receiving information. Oftentimes we like to give out information, but we don't really like to receive information. So we're going to get into that to a second, but that is the definition of communication: giving and receiving information. Now let's get right into the structure to successful communication. And this is just kind of what I've kind of gathered, and hopefully you can pick up some golden nuggets from this. But the first thing in powerful communication is, number 1, is being intentional. Being intentional, having intentionality with your communication, not having communication based off of reactiveness or procrastination or getting pissed off and getting upset and frustrated. And listen, I do it. Okay. So that's how I know. So I think everyone can relate to this, that everyone is reactive at times. Everyone responds out of frustration at times. It happens. But to have powerful communication, the first thing is you want to be intentional. Having intentionality, having communication to where you're like, listen, I intend to communicate with this particular person in this specific way to achieve this, successful outcome. Because at the end of the day, we generally speaking, we all want to have successful outcomes in our relationships and our business dealings and our endeavors. So we're all on the same page. So the first step is being intentional. How do I want to communicate with this person? What is my tone? What is the desired outcome with this person? What am I trying to communicate to this person? Just having that general intentionality is already going to set you up for successful communication. The second thing is I believe in direct communication. I do not believe in indirect or passive aggressive communication. Passive aggressive or just passive communication, or even aggressive communicate, it confuses people. It muddies up the water. Communication gets hazy. People don't understand where each person is on a particular topic or perspective, and it causes a lot of frustration when communication is not direct. So I believe in direct communication. Hey, so and so, I need, if we can, I need to have A, B, and C done. Please, if you're working a business deal, if you're in a relationship with a significant other, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Significant Other, this particular situation doesn't make me feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable with this. I'd rather this not happen, or I think this should happen, et cetera, et cetera. And obviously done, spoken in a respectful manner, but the communication is direct, because the other person cannot read your mind. Maybe some people can, right? Maybe some people are psychics and they can read mind. Okay, great. But most people, 98% of the population, is not going to be able to read your mind. So it's very, very important that our communication is intentional and direct, very, very straightforward, but obviously done in a respectful manner. The third aspect to successful communication is being proactive. So being proactive, this kind of goes in with the intentionality, but this is more of an action, an activity, a frequency of communication. So we have our intention, we're direct, but now we want to be proactive. So we want to be able to keep up, and be able to say, listen, this particular topic is happening with this particular person. No one is really talking about it. I probably need to go ahead and initiate this conversation. Being proactive. What I have seen is, when I'm proactive in communication, it really alleviates a lot of the problems that could happen in relationships and business dealings, in any sort of communication situation. When I'm proactive, things get worked out without frustration, without people getting upset, without being reactive. You're being reactive, they're being reactive. Whenever I'm proactive in communication, things simply have a better probability of being successful. And things that are not a big deal do not get turned into monster situations. Normally, most communication failures happen because we make a mountain out of a molehill. We take one thing that's not a big deal, but because there's a lack of communication, it turns into this humongous situation. And then now, next thing you know, you're fighting about something else that was created from this one small thing. So being proactive in communication is really, really important. So if you have significant people in your life, you probably want to do your best to be proactive. And I'm doing the best that I can to practice what I preach. So significant people in my life, my business partner, the person I share my life with, my son, my family members, my teammates, my people that help me grow this business. Like it's these are important people in my life, people I do business deals with. I want to be proactive in my communication, and I want to initiate communication with them, so that way we can clear up any sort of issues, or just simply prevent issues. Most of the time, you're just preventing issues by being proactive. The last thing that I have for powerful and successful communication is being consistent. Consistent communication is so crucial, because you can have a phenomenal, conversation with somebody, and it was productive and it was successful. And this person might happen to be an important person in your life. They're critical in your life. But then you go 2 weeks without really communicating with them. That's going to be an issue. That's going to be a problem. So consistent communication is so critical for overall successful, powerful communication. So it's doing it consistently. If it's a person you share your life with, well, that's going to be every day, majority of the time, unless there's something else going on. If it's your business partner, probably going to be every day. Maybe not every day. There's might be some days, weekends, maybe, I don't know. But most of the time, it's going to be every day. If it's going to be, people that you're very, very close with, you live with, these are very crucial and critical areas of communication. And the communication has to be consistent. So not only do you need to be intentional, we should be intentional, we should be direct, and we should be proactive. We want to be consistent. So we want to take those three components, being intentional, being direct, and being proactive, and do it with consistency. So consistency is the foundation of all powerful and successful communication. Intentionality, directness, and being proactive with the foundation of consistency is the formula for successful and powerful communication. So communication is so critical in life. It is literally everything. Things do not get done. Business deals do not happen. Relationships do not grow. Relationships do not start or happen or grow or progress. Your community work, your work at the office place, your growing a family. It doesn't matter. Communication is the lifeblood. It literally grows all of that. It is everything. Communication is the lifeblood of growth in all of those areas. If you do not have communication, you do not have growth. You do not have connection. Communication is everything. It's the thing that we all have in common. We have so many commonalities as a humanity, as people, but this is one that's not only do we all share this trait across the globe, but it also we share the importance of it. The communication is vital for every person in this world and in every part of the globe and every part of the country. It doesn't matter where you're at. The communication, this is a global thing. This is a collective thing where it's vital and crucial for everybody. And also every aspect of life, every area of life, communication is the absolute lifeblood. So guys, listen, I hope you got some value from this podcast and this episode. If anything, maybe it just will allow you to maybe reflect on your own communication and how you can improve your communication with the people that you love and care about and the people that are important to you. In your business, in your work, in your family, in your relationships. It doesn't matter. Like communication is so crucial and so critical. So just to do a quick recap of our formula for successful, powerful communication is number one, it's being intentional. Number two, it's being direct. Number three, it's being proactive. And the last thing as the foundation of all that is consistency. If we hit all four of those, our communication is going to be not only be successful, it's going to be thriving. We're going to grow all the areas of our life. We're going to do it because communication is the lifeblood to growth and our relationships and our life in general. Guys, listen, thank you so much for joining on this podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, show me some love, give me some input. If there's a particular topic or area of life or business that you want to go over, please reach out to me directly and let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'm going to continue to pump out these episodes. I love talking about things that are going on in my life that are relevant for me. This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is actually real life experience. And I hope you're able to apply and take action on some of these things that you've listened to today. And I hope it adds value to your life and it increases your life and it helps you grow and become better at what you're doing. So go out there, have a phenomenal rest of your day and rest of your week. Until next time, adios.